people might laugh at me for saying that Pakistan very easily could have won that World Cup. When we think of Pakistan cricket, we think of vibes when they're playing at their best, right? He channeled that in them. I don't care what people say about coaches and analytics. The most important person on a cricket team is the captain.
All right, welcome back to Not That Important. If you're listening for the first time, my name is Shaheen. My fellow co-host is Arman, and we're just two lads from Karachi who love talking about cricket. This episode is actually part one of a 2-episode series focused on recent Pakistan captains and coaches, starting with the 2019 World Cup and the post-Sarfaraz era. And then we'll go into the T20 World Cup that just finished a little bit as well, talk about what went wrong. We'll start this episode off with a little bit of fun, blind ranking the best PSL captains. Then we'll move into a discussion of Babar Azam's captaincy, what worked, what didn't. We go over Saqlain Mushtaq's impact as a coach, and then the revolving door of Pakistan captains right now and where that leaves our cricket next. Another question we dive into is whether making Shaheen the ODI captain is another mistake at a time where he really needs to focus on his own game. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy what you hear, drop a like, subscribe, and share with anyone who you think might enjoy what we have to say. This is just a start for us. We also have a lot of fun content up on Instagram, so give us a follow at Not That Important Pod.
I'm going to have you blind rank PSL captains.
Oh, okay. Nice. I like that.
All right. Okay. Ready?
Okay. Come at me.
Okay. Darren Sammy.
PSL captains?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a tough one. He had quite an impact. I'm going to say 3.
I think that's a fair swap. Shut up, fun.
4.
Sarfaraz Ahmed.
This is tough, man.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one.
I kind of regret putting Shadab at 4 because I think I'm going to have to. Because if you look at impact,
one to be fair.
Yeah, if you look at impact, Sarfaraz only won 1, but like I think we just trying to think of his captaincy as a whole. I'm going to say 5.
The thing with Sarfaraz, he made 3 finals, I think, right? अब एक साल में वो भी हो गया था कि foreign players लाहौर ने आए थे second साल में, and then और जो second 4 साल थे उसके बाद they were terrible. So he had 4 amazing years and 4 terrible. So it's a tough one.
If we think back to like the early years of the PSL, I think although Islamabad United won 2 seasons out of the first 3, I think the Quetta versus Zalmi was like the iconic game that everyone looked forward to. Like they
I have facts, bro.
I think that was like one of the games where it would always go down to the wire. I think it was super over, and I think it was the game I would always look forward to the most because they had like a very distinct identity. I remember like Zalmi had the yellow shirts with the blue pants, and then Quetta were like obviously with Mohammad Nawaz spinner and like I remember like their bowling attack was built around him, and it was those UAE days. Okay, so I have Shadab at 4, Sarfaraz at 5, Sami at 3. Chalo,
Yeah.
It always feels harsh to put Safi at 5, especially on the captaincy thing. But I guess
it does.
It depends who you're gonna. How you're gonna do me dirty. Don't do me dirty, bro.
Mohammad Rizwan.
I'm trying to think who I'm forgetting because I think. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, but I think I'm gonna go number 1.
You're gonna go 1? Okay.
Yeah.
And the last one here is Shaheen Shah.
Oh,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I forgot about Shah. Honestly, like it completely like slipped my mind. But yeah, I'll go Shaheen 2. But I think that.
Would you change that if you could?
I think I could, bro. I think I would just because they were freaking in the dust before he took them over. They were the worst franchise in freaking sport history potentially. हर साल जितने भी बुरे कराची थे, like Qalandars हमेशा like कराची से हार भी जाते थे और last base पे आते थे. Always gave you like some consolation as a Karachi fan, no matter how much we hated our team. और फिर पता नहीं देखो, they got AB de Villiers still freaking came last. They got Chris Gayle.
No one worked, bro. No one worked.
Last. मतलब जिसको भी वो खरीद सकते
थे. Brendan McCullum, captain then.
Again. And bro, the
That
iconic image
professor
was,
captaining,
वो
nothing
याद है
worked.
उनका क्या नाम था यार उनका, वो तो फवाद राजा.
So when at the
नहीं सोहेल अख्तर तो
oh
कप्तान
owner
था.
जो
They
पहला
actually,
पहला जो भाई था
yeah, the mooch guy, and he always used to be like,
Paulana,
well,
yeah.
head in hands at all times because they used to lose like games
Pretty
from
better.
like absolutely like nowhere, bro. Or but you're right, when Sohail Akhtar became the captain, they're like, bro, kuch na kuch, like, nothing's
Final बन
working.
गया था I think उस साल ना
And that was the year they got the final to
yeah
Karachi, jeeta tha, Ahmad Wasim ke. Then
Karachi
Babar
जीता
was
था
like, just like, aram se, like, I think it was
yeah
like 130, 140 chases, and he like easily got there. Like, it was a classic Babar, like, chase at
yeah
that point. So, yeah. Like, it was one of those things where even when they got to the final, they lost to like freaking Karachi. So it was like, it was just like, come on, bro.
yeah bro. And it was the Babar Lahori guy was winning it
Yeah,
against
that must have
Lahore as
hurt.
well.
But then,
They must have hurt them.
then Shaheen came and just suddenly, bro, like freaking 3
See,
titles in
bro,
4 years. And the way they won, bro, like the team he's built and the confidence they play with, it's almost like, I don't know, sometimes it makes me feel like he's a player who like elevates his game when he's captain. It would have been interesting to see how he would have been able to do that for Pakistan. Because I think if he's captaining, I think T20 is probably the format that you captain him in. But I think he's one of those guys who, like, he's very aggressive as a captain, but in the right way. Because like Lahore are a franchise that has somehow, जो Pakistan का spark होता है ना, like what Pakistan brings to world cricket, like that chaos, but like somehow when you channel that chaos correctly and you get the vibes right, like no team can beat it. When that's what Pakistan goes and runs in World Cups and everything, that's exactly what Lahore Conjures are. They're never going to be the most consistent, but when things click, boy, like no one's going to be able to stop them.
Do you remember what he said last year? Whoa, their playoff spot was in like पता नहीं था if they make it or not. And then I don't know, Shaheen से match के बाद interview किया. I think the game where Niazi smacked these guys around, I think उसी match में था. तो he's like कोई नहीं इनसे हमारा आगे मुकाबला होगा इन लोगों से हमारा.
Yeah, I remember.
And then and they had to win a couple of straight, I think, to get there. And then they beat them in the yes, bro. They did beat them in the playoffs. So Shaheen Shah, मट का बच्चा है, bro. That's what I like about him. And tactically, maybe I haven't noticed that much. More than anything else with him, what I notice is and I guess it is tactics at the end of the day. He does the most aggressive thing every single time, which I love. Because, bro, they will match to tum haroge. Whether you play defensively or you play with an attacking mindset as a captain, match to tum haroge. Like, but the style with which he wins and loses, I always appreciate it because the most frustrating thing, and I think we can agree about this watching Pakistan half the time, is like when you lose and you have things left in the tank, that pisses you off.
Yeah.
You could have done this, and ये option था, इसका इधर over तुम दे सकते थे हमेशा, ना ये हमने अभी World Cup में उसका देखा था, maybe we'll get into that later inshallah. लेकिन शाहिद के साथ वो scene नहीं लगता है.
Whatever cards he has, he's gonna play them. Like, मतलब,
he's gonna play them.
Like, yeah.
Yes. तो वो I really, and bro, even
it's one of those things that the commentary में cliche होता है कि like, he's not gonna die wondering. Like, वो like जाके like he'll put it out there. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But more often than it does. So like, coming back to like your ultimate question, like if I had to redo that, I probably would do it. But honestly, like Rizwan deserves it too, and I think he deserves a mention in terms of like the way he, Karachi में pick नहीं हो रहा था. He went to Multan, made that team his own, led from the front, and like, obviously last 2 years, I think that's probably why he can't be number one for me, which is why I kind of regret what position you put me in. But and that's
I just wanted to see how that would play out.
I completely like, when you're in the zone, you're trying to think of who's there. Like I completely
I get
that. But yeah, like I think just because he's been probably like the last 2 seasons have been as bad as it can get for a captain, probably even worse than like the way it was for Quetta for Sarfaraz. I think like that would change that. Yeah,
bro. When you judge these captains like in these blind rankings, like what are you judging off of? Like, are you judging just off the numbers? Are you judging off like what they did with their teams? Are you judging off what you think their tactics are? Like, what is your reasoning for all of these things?
The first thing I'll say is like numbers don't come into it at all. Like obviously numbers come into calculation. Like normally if I like in my head judging like who players are, I will factor that in. But like I think ultimately especially when you're blind ranking something and you're just going off a feel, right? So you're going off like what was the biggest impact that you felt at the time. Sometimes numbers don't match up with the eye test almost in a sense, like which player made you feel a certain type of way or like what sort of impact he had. So I think blind rankings made the numbers, I think, almost go out the window a little bit. It's more so like what I remember in terms of the impact that these guys gave. So I think when we're looking at captaincy, I think I'm obviously looking at titles as well. Like you have to, I think, be successful to be like considered one of the best captains, especially when you're competing against guys who won like multiple times. Like I think, is Shaheen the only one who's won multiple times as PSL captain? He's the only one. That's pretty insane.
Yeah. Only one.
3 times, and he's the only one who's won more than once as a PSL
कुछ तो है ना लड़के में.
Yeah,
obviously, right?
There's a reason that he should be the best as well. So what else did you ask about? Like what else do I judge?
Yeah, I'm saying like, bro, because especially now that पता है पाकिस्तान के साथ like हर 2 दिन के बाद it seems कि कप्तान बदल रहा है, and जो decisions maker है उनके decision में भी कोई side bad नहीं होता है. मतलब वो तो you can obviously see that, right? But like, and even when like Babar was captain, like guys like you and me, in the back, in our hearts, we knew that he wasn't that great captain, right? Like we loved him and everything. Like,
I mean, you and I used to have these conversations before Babar became captain when it was clear that Sarfaraz ka, you could say like he was getting frustrated a little bit. Like we know that Sarfaraz is an amazing captain of Pakistan. Like he's one of our favorite captains ever. Lead the national side. And I think what he gave in terms of allowing this PSL generation to come and express themselves, winning the Champions Trophy and going from there, I think he built a really, really good side. And I don't think anyone else could potentially have done like what Shadab did. What Sarfaraz did with that squad. लेकिन फिर एक वक्त आ गया था जब उसकी खुद टीम में जगह नहीं बन रही थी. His performances were not matching up with where cricket was going and where like the team was progressing. And then I think also एक ceiling आ गई थी ना in terms of like where his captaincy could go, and you almost had to move on to the next thing. I think at that time, like the natural thing was always going to be Babar. And I remember one of those trips where we'd gone to play cricket for McGill. I think you, me, and Saida were talking about this. We knew at that point that Sarfaraz ka time aa gaya tha, you know. Lekin I think we always felt that like Babar had never shown that he was captaincy material in terms of...
वही बात थी ना, bro, because
लेकिन
देखो, could they not have transitioned that better? Because देखो, I think in retrospect, Mickey को भी गलत हटाया था उस time पे, bro. Because Mickey had something going, bro. वो जो 2019 का World Cup था,
yeah,
people might laugh at me for saying that Pakistan very easily could have won that World Cup.
Yeah. I think two things. We did our classic, like we started the World Cup horrifically with that West Indies thing. I think that was like almost like an anomaly. And then we had like an unfortunate game against Sri Lanka that was rained out. And I think that if that had not happened, like obviously, look, I don't know if we would have won it necessarily, just because ODI is like a format where ultimately like when you get to the semi-finals and finals and maybe T20, you can pick up momentum, and you can in ODIs as well. And Pakistan was like in that sort of form where you feel they're going to win. But again, on the day, कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Bro, जीत सकता था वो पाकिस्तान, लेकिन is what I'm saying ना कि मतलब अगर पाकिस्तान सेमीफाइनल में पहुंचता, we were the hottest team और हम दोनों फाइनल्स को हरा भी चुके थे ना, तो जीत भी सकते थे उस वर्ल्ड कप को हम.
थी ना कि
कॉम्बिनेशन परफेक्ट थी और
लेकिन कॉम्बिनेशन परफेक्ट कब हुई? वर्ल्ड कप के शुरू में
बहुत देर से हुई.
को रखा था टीम में, आसिफ अली को रखा हुआ था. Like the combination wasn't right. Then they got like Sohail and they finally like figured it out.
और शाहीन को दोबारा खिलाना शुरू कर दिया ये लोग,
खिलाना शुरू किया था. And like, but the things were going well. The bowling lineup was well. Like Shadab was bowling well as well. Hafiz is there. Like you had spin, pace, sab kuch. So yeah, maybe not wrong. Okay, we could have. And Amir, because after like he remember that dog before that World Cup, it was like Amir's been bowling so badly, but then World Cup came and he was fine. Like so, it was like one of those.
It was awesome.
But
everything was clicking at the right. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying everything was. I'm not saying we would have won. Like, I'm just saying that he got removed after winning a Champions Trophy. Mickey और सरफराज दोनों को लगाता हूँ क्योंकि around the same time they got taken out. They won a Champions Trophy. They had identified a pool of players. They won 11 straight T20 series.
Yeah.
They developed a batsman in Babar Azam, and they were a very bad performance / rain not happening against Sri Lanka / Carlos Brathwaite finishing that match away from maybe winning the World Cup at the end of the day. Like, we cannot deny these things. So to then remove both of those guys at that time, like,
yeah,
I think
two things, right? So one thing you mentioned there was that between 2016 to 2022, effectively, there was no T20 World Cup. and Pakistan was the best team between those years in terms of T20s. And I think Mickey had come in after 2016. And obviously Champions Trophy happened, the ODI World Cup happened. Like, and actually T20 was Pakistan's best format at that time under Sarfaraz and under Mickey, and they didn't get an opportunity to play a World Cup, which, well, and then to be fair, like by the time 2022 came, we were still a good T20 side, but I think we weren't as good as what had happened before. Because if you look at even 2022, when we did really well, Saqlain Mushtaq was the coach and Babar Azam and all that. That was actually before like Qudrat kicked in. That was when like we won every game in 2020. I think it was the 2021 World Cup, but yeah. But leading into that World Cup, there was a lot of instability in the side, and that had happened after that team that had been working so well under Sarfaraz and Mickey was almost broken up. Though,
I guess the tournaments were far away at that point as well, right? Yeah. Like the World Cup was for. I just don't know अगर बाबर को तीनों का देना चाहिए था उस टाइम पे.
Yeah. Also, I think maybe
T20 का तो deserve नहीं करता था Sarfaraz lose करना, bro. No way. Like at that point, right?
लेकिन I think T20 में उसकी टीम में जगह का सवाल था ना, क्योंकि Rizwan was coming up. That was the issue.
अगर किसी ने तुम्हें इतना परफॉर्म करके दिया, एक साल अगर उसका खराब हो भी गया तो क्या हो गया?
लेकिन it wasn't really एक साल ना, like you could
एक ही तो साल था ना, bro.
नहीं एक साल था, लेकिन eye test से पता चला था कि उसकी like ability to keep up with where the game was going was not at that same level. So like you're not going to open Sarfaraz, right? Like the way you could open Babar and Rizwan.
लेकिन T20 पे 4-5 पे तो खेल सकता था ना, उसका record सही था उधर.
खेल रहा था और काफी अच्छा खेल रहा था.
बैटिंग में आता ही नहीं था. मसला ये था ना कि वो ब्रो अपने से पहले हसन अली को भेज देता था दफा वो बैटिंग करने के लिए ना. तो he messed himself up by not batting either. ना.
I was going to say that the thing that we can say is that getting rid of both Sarfaraz and Mickey was maybe the wrong decision.
Yes, bro.
Like if you would let go of one, maybe some consistency for a little while would have been good. But
yeah, for sure, bro. And then the thing with Babar, bro, like the thing is Babar not really he captained under 19. Lekin bro, एक तरीका होता है ना. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'll go back and find out that he did captain a lot of junior or pre-Pakistan levels, but I don't think he did, bro. एक होता है तुम पाकिस्तान ए की कप्तानी कर रहे हो तुम, फर्स्ट क्लास की कर रहे हो तुम, डोमेस्टिक में कर रहे हो, बस एक बेस बनाते हो ना, because leadership is something that you identify someone from age group cricket. And Sarfaraz has been a captain at every single level. है ना?
He won the under 19 World Cup for Pakistan.
Under 19. Sarfaraz की मैं मिसाल दे रहा हूँ. It could be anybody. Whoever you make captain should not be somebody जो even it seems okay with Shaheen right now, but Pakistan has to do a better job of identifying leaders from a young age, and then ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि तुम पाकिस्तान टीम में आके तुम पहली दफा कप्तानी कर रहे हो.
Yeah, no, for sure, you're right. And I think लेकिन एक चीज I think कहनी चाहिए बाबर के बारे में कि we're often talking tactically और हम कह रहे होते हैं कि he was not it, like he wasn't at that level, and I don't think we expected him to be. But ultimately, regardless of the fact that he wasn't at that level tactically, एक चीज उसने की थी, and we can't deny it, and that he built a really united dressing room. And I think like that saw itself in terms of the
100%.
T20 World Cup performances that we got to the semi-final, we got to the final after that. I think, I don't know what happened in that lead up to that Asia Cup, and then injuries started to happen, and it's almost like outside noise became too much. I think that's actually one of the things I wanted to discuss in relation to like the PSL captains that we spoke about. I think a lot of players who've captained Pakistan, sometimes it's also easier to judge their captaincy at the PSL level because they're given an environment where they're able to essentially work within the resources they have, and it's a stable environment. क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा pressure नहीं होता जितना national team में होता है. And that's not to say that like, pressure is obviously necessary for high performing elite athletes to be able to perform under.
You cannot compare though. You're right.
मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि pressure बिल्कुल भी नहीं है PSL में pressure होता है, but you can't compare that levels. So that's one thing.
Okay.
But also on the other hand, like Joe, well, we always speak about the system and like the outside noise and the media and the PCB backing and the chaos and everything. Like Pakistan players don't have like the same support and sometimes comfort mentally that they feel with their franchises at the national team. And so like in franchise, maybe you're able to see in isolation what a player's actual quality is and what they're able to do when they're given like the resources to perform. On the other hand, it's also like a short tournament, bro. It's like easier to do it as well.
Bro, you have to be fair as well. Like whatever criticism we had, the guy could have had 2 ICC tournaments, World Cups in his locker at the end of the day. And for what he did lack in man management up until that Asia Cup, man management 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
He did a really good job of backing his players. And we always talked about how we even said this about Sarfaraz at times, that maybe he doesn't use his power as captain. No, Babar did a good job with that. You have to understand the power you have as captain and use it. And for those first 4 years, he did an awesome job. My biggest Kaptani criticism of Babar more than anything else is just the fact that he took it the second time.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest blunder. But
he didn't need to, that was not just a blunder for captaincy and for what was best for Pakistan. It was not in his own best interest.
Yeah.
As a player, because at that point he was at the crossroads where performances thodi dip aa rahi thi, but phir bhi, he was still good enough to be in the side, and he was progressing his game. And ultimately uske baad I think Kaptani ki pressure, or it just is what it is, bro. Kaptani ka pressure alag hota hai, and sometimes they're not able to take it when things are going against you.
I'd ask you now, bro, if you look,
we criticize him a lot. And I think you spoke about Babar exercising his power as captain. I think usme Ramiz Raja ka bada haath tha, because I think Ramiz Raja made him captain, and he was like, you have to behave because Ramiz Raja comes from the all great Imran Khan, skipper said this, skipper said that type era. So they kind of just want the captain to be the end all and be all. And Ramiz Raja did a lot of for lack of a better word, chutyap. But I think that was one thing that he did right. I think he empowered Babar and he allowed him to come into his own now. Obviously that,
and that's what Saqlain Mushtaq did that well as coach as well when he coached Babar. Because I remember under Misbah, it wasn't the same. Saqlain came and that's another guy, bro. And I don't know if I should say they shouldn't have got rid of Saqlain Mushtaq, but bro, he was better than whoever was there before and after.
I think I would say that I would say that they probably needed to get. They didn't need to get rid of him.
Ek baat bhi suno. We have to progress. We have to think more tactically, which was the criticism. Maybe tactics that not sharp nahi hai Saqlain Mushtaq, and he's a very laissez-faire type of coach that tum log go and express yourselves. But bro, when we think of Pakistan cricket, we think of vibes when they're playing at their best, right? He channeled that in them. I hear him talk on TV now, and a lot of people criticize him because maybe he doesn't criticize Shaheen. It's going to be, I guess, how can you go on and whatever, right? But you hear him talk, and I'm thinking the way he talks about the players that he coached publicly is beautiful in a way. I'm imagine him being the voice in your dressing room, and he's just giving confidence to these guys, right? I think Pakistan in the 2022 World Cup in Australia, them making that comeback and going to a final, I think it had a lot to do with the environment he set up there as well, and just telling people to express themselves as well, a lot more than anything else.
I think
and I don't know.
I think the one thing you can say is I think wo thoda ho gaya tha na, we knew that Babar was the captain, and Babar maybe didn't have that X factor tactically, so you felt you needed someone stronger as a coach to be able to give that. But sometimes but I think the one thing I would say is we look back at that time and we almost make a joke of it and Qudrat Khan Azam, and but once people get sound bites, they're going to run with it. This is social media generation. This is the way it is. People forget that semi-final and final mein pahunchaya tha usne, and so it's and we make jokes as well and stuff, and it's all fair, but ultimately you have to give the guy respect because he did well as a coach in terms of what he was asked to do, and he was asked to just step in at the last minute, bro. He came in as an interim the same way
yes, Misbah retired 2 weeks before the World Cup.
Exactly. So I think all that is true, but I think at the same time, I think that can be true, but we can also say that when they got rid of him, it was maybe the right time to move on from him. I think.
Yeah.
I think what the point you're making
I think
is
more
valid,
so maybe I'm just comparing him to the guys who we got after, or the shenanigans that happened after with 2-3 coaches changing in between,
exactly,
right?
We didn't. And this whole getting Grant Bradmore and getting Mickey as the freaking
आज तो कोई उधर जाके तो वो डर्बिशायर से बैठ के तुम मैकबुक में तुम्हारी कोचिंग कर रहे यार। वो जब हटाना नहीं चाहिए था तब हटा दिया, और जब लाना था तो गलत तरीके से वापस लेके आए कि वो लैपटॉप पे बैठ के कोचिंग करे। एंड देन देयर इज अनदर थिंग कि ब्रो, जिस कमेटी ने मिकी को हटाया था 2019 में, Misbah was a part of that committee. Who voted him off?
It was crazy. And then he came down, bro. It's
खुदा गया.
Insane.
What is this, bro?
It It was actually, that was horrific. I totally forgot कि ये हुआ था.
तो ये सब चीजें होती है, bro. So now, if we move forward to like, we're talking about Kaptani. Chalo, Saifi at his time got replaced. Babar at his time, and in both cases, we may say that one guy should have stayed, one guy should have gone, but they both got cut at a pretty natural time in a team's timeline, right?
Yeah.
After World Cup. Phir Aya, who I thought was Pakistan's best captain within the country, which is Mohammad Rizwan, और उसको run नहीं मिला. जो भी हो, he had some good series, Champions Trophy won bad, they lost a series in New Zealand, उसको हटा दिया, whatever. Didn't agree with it at that time, but now you're at a place in your cricket right now where if I were to ask you, who are the guys you realistically look at as captains in any of the 3 formats, whichever one you want to talk about, who do you see that spark in? And the guys who have that spark, do they merit a place in the team themselves?
I think that's a really valid question. I think we find ourselves in a really, really tough position, and we've done that with this musical chairs or PCB ne khela hai. Like, they've put themselves in a bad corner, and they put themselves in that same position with Salman Ali Agha and culminating in what happened in the T20 World Cup. Like, Salman Ali Agha ke bare mein jo bhi kaho, bro, I don't think you would find like a bigger fan of Salman Ali Agha as a player than me. Like, I love watching him play. I love the impact he brought to Test cricket. I think he's been one of the best Test players in the last few years. One day maybe aake, absolutely. I think in the lead up to the World Cup, the last ODI World Cup in India, I think we were really excited about the performance and the impact he'd be able to give. So I don't think you'll find like people who are bigger fans of his cricket and the impact that he gives. I think in one days in Tests, he's excellent. T20 mein, Islamabad United bought him. Yes, he had a good season there. It goes back to your point about like, Islamabad United is not real life, and like looking at pulling that into international cricket. You say whatever you want about him. In T20s, he did not merit a side. You could say, look, I'm not saying that
chance मिल सकता था उसको, लेकिन
chance मिल सकता था, लेकिन like उसकी जगह पक्की नहीं थी कि you give him kaptani. That adds some pressure on a player himself, bro. Like, you have to have someone who's placed in the side is unquestionable. And so I think in that situation, we've put ourselves into a corner. You could Babar ko kaptani de diya. He's not an option anymore. Does he even make it into T20 side? Remains to be seen. Rizwan definitely doesn't make it into T20 side. You've done the same thing with him where you gave him captaincy for 6 months in ODIs. He had a bad Champions Trophy where like the squad is kind of shit anyways. Usko nikal diya, even though South Africa or Australia may you won series under him. Shaheen, you gave T20 captaincy probably at a time where, okay, it made sense to give it to him. I still felt like maybe it was a little bit too early, but once you gave it to him, bro, you backed the guy. Dual Oracle Unders also gave him captaincy early, and he went and he delivered on that. Instead, after a few months, you took it back after like 1 or 2 series. Babar's captain again. So effectively what you've done is, if we just talk about T20s, Babar's not an option anymore, Rizwan's not an option anymore, Shaheen's not an option anymore, and Shadab, on the face of it, like Islamabad mein uski performances are always there. He's captained them consistently for a few years. He's an option, but is his place secure in the Pakistan side? No, his bowling never seems to deliver in the big tournaments anymore, even though like PSL mein aake wo sahi karta hai. So, boy, like where are you at then? Then you have to eventually put yourself in the situation where, honestly, I think Shadab ko kaptan bana lete maybe a year ago for T20s even.
Injured ho gaya tha.
So I think Salman ko banaya tha. So, but now it's interesting because if Shadab had a good T20 World Cup, he would 100% be the captain moving forward. But now Pakistan doesn't play T20, so we also don't have to rush on a decision. I think we don't play T20s for a while. The focus is going to be more on the ODI format anyways. So it's like, again, so who is the next choice then? Like, then you talk about what you said, right? The pipeline of captains, you have to create that from the early days upwards. So you have to give players who like are future captains like an opportunity to develop their game. Guys who've done it at under 19, who've done it at domestic. Like, who is there right now whose place is secure in the side?
तो मुझे ये बताओ, just to cut you off,
Shaheen को ODI का कप्तान बनाया, लेकिन उसकी जगह ODIs में अभी पक्की नहीं है. Like, we don't, like, Shaheen is a player who like, Paki in that sense, ke, like, yes, like, we don't have that many better.
But he's not undroppable during like a tournament, basically.
He's not undroppable during the tournament. Secondly, is that really the best thing for Shaheen to be playing every single ODI against Bangladesh or like whoever hell you play against? Like, that's not really what we want. But we want the captain to be playing every.
यही तो difference है ना. यही तो difference है because तुम पैक कमेंट्स को देखो, उसको पता है कि मैं अगर एक पूरा साल वनडे नहीं खेलूं, कप्तान मैं ही हूँ.
Yeah, exactly.
है ना, पाकिस्तान में ये चीज नहीं है. Bro, Imran Khan used to load manage on lawn when he played. Imran Khan would take series off all the time. He knew he was captain when he got back every single time though. Right? Like, Shaheen does not have the liberty right now.
Shaheen doesn't.
You and me.
It's because of it's not the liberty even. Okay, like, it's more okay, like the culture that the system is built. You basically built a system where Naseem Shah and Shaheen Shah Afridi get injured, like pretty bad injuries, but injuries that other fast bowlers in other countries have had. You mentioned Pat Cummins. He's had serious stress fractures early in his career. Jasprit Bumrah has had serious injuries. When they come back, they're at the same level that they left. They just need to get match sharp, and then they become even better. Like Bumrah became even better. Pat Cummins, at a young age, was like earmarked as like the future of Australia, but like he had serious injuries. He went out. You didn't see him for like a couple of years. He came back.
6 साल टेस्ट नहीं खिलाया उसको.
Literally. And Naseem and Shaheen get injured, and then without even a serious rehab, they're back on the side. Why? Because they know कि एक दो says हमने अगर break ली, हमारे बारे में भूल जाएगा. We'll move on, and no one's going to back us with a proper rehab. So that's my point in terms of Shaheen not being a fixture in the side, because I don't think he should be. I think he should be like a player like Shaheen. We should manage him in a way where he's ready to go at the World Cups, at the big events, and give him the time between that to like do rehab. But you can't get to that level, especially as a fast bowler, without like being able to be fully confident in your physicality as a player. And that only comes from doing a proper rehab. Uski pace down hai, like everything is off. Like even forget Shaheen, forget Naseem. Even if you look at Babar as a player, how much of a break does he ever take where he's able to work on the flaws in his game? Like, agar wo left arm spinner ke khilaf phas raha hai, what does he need to do differently to improve on that? These guys just go back to back to back games. If like you listen to any coach talk,
off season
about how off season is when a player develops their game and they fix themselves. How do you expect our players to improve when we talk a lot about domestic mein jaake usko improve karna, but forget domestic even. Babar Azam doesn't need to freaking play Quaid-e-Azam trophy to become a better player. He already is like a level where that's not going to help him. He needs to go and work with a coach and actually sit down and look at his game ke main kahan phas raha hu, and improve. Same with the fast bowlers. So that is just not embedded in the system because there's so much insecurity over someone's place in the side. So इसलिए मैं कह रहा था कि Shaheen should not be ODI captain because, bro, we don't need him playing like in all these series or Ragray Khai or ye wo. Like,
you don't think Babar needs domestic?
Bro, I feel like he's a player that he could maybe do with some games, but I think what he needs more so is just being able to like switch off.
He needs
and, like,
a break for sure.
Game. Yeah.
Break is, I would say, for him the primary thing that he needs. Right? But even Shaheen, bro, like हम तो आपस में बात करते हैं. अब तो हम सालों से बोल रहे हैं, bro, कि इस लड़के को 10 से 12 महीने बिठाओ कहीं जाके. But it's that thing ना कि टूर्नामेंट में भी खिलाना है, कप्तानी भी कराना है, हर सीरीज में भी खिलाना है उसको. So I don't know when he's
नहीं, मैं कह रहा था अगर 10-12 महीने उसको बिठाना है तो then you have to go and tell him कि देखो 10-12 महीने अगर तुम बाहर बैठोगे, we're going to play you in XYZ matches. You're going to get a category A contract because we believe in you, so that your money is not going away. So you're essentially paying him to do rehab and do all that, and you're giving him the best facilities. That's the biggest issue, right? Shaheen ko agar tum jaake bolo कि मैं 10-12 महीने बाहर बैठूं, he'll be like मेरे शक्ल पे चूतिया लगा हुआ है. I have no guarantee that they're going to select me when those 10-12 months are over, because they'll find some new big thing and suddenly that guy will become like the talk of the town. Ali Raza will come in and suddenly they'll be like, oh, Shaheen ki to zarurat hi nahi thi, Ali Raza is doing much better. Then Ali Raza will break down and then we'll be in the same cycle again.
सबसे बड़ी गलती जो उसने, you're absolutely right, that's how you should handle it. सबसे बड़ी गलती जो उसके साथ की थी, I cannot believe they let him play that Australia World Cup in 2022. Joe, how could you do that to that guy, bro? The fact that they allowed him to come back for that World Cup was...
और Shaheen उस टाइप का प्लेयर है कि अगर उसको मैच में तुम्हें खिलाया है, वो he's not gonna hold back. Like वो फील्ड में भी डाइव मारेगा.
Exactly.
जो भी, like whatever it takes for the team, he's gonna do it. He is like ultimately a guy who's like very competitive. So like वही हुआ कि like he's diving, he dives forward in the final, he injures his knee, and suddenly like not only are you without Shaheen Afridi for the back end of like you're defending a total in the T20 World Cup final, and then suddenly you lose the final itself, but suddenly you're without Shaheen Afridi for like the better part of or like essentially you've lost the version of Shaheen Afridi that essentially was one of the best bowlers in the world.
That's the issue. And it's a tough one, bro, because I think he should be the captain in both white ball formats, but you really do have to balance it with like when is he gonna rehab, bro? Yehi baat hai. Maybe Agha has a lot of people say Agha ko maybe one day mein deni chahiye thi, Shaheen ko T20 mein deni chahiye thi. I don't know.
That could have been
Again,
because I think
yeah.
Agha Shaheen in one days would have been a really good dynamic where you sort of have Shaheen be captain if like he's at his best and Agha be the vice captain so he can captain in series. Because with Agha, I don't think any player would. This sounds kind of like mean to say, but I feel like if Agha is someone's vice captain, you won't feel as threatened by him as you would by like a Shadab, because there probably isn't as much of a campaign for him to be captain versus like when Babar FC, Shadab FC.
So yeah, bro, like Salman's would be maybe a good choice for that, but यार इनको खुद नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कि इनको करना क्या है किस तरह करना है तो यार it's a very frustrating. And bro, like I don't care what people say about coaches and analytics. The most important person on a cricket team is the captain, and it's the only sport of the world like that. जब तक कप्तान तुम्हारा सही नहीं हो, you can't do anything.
Yeah. I think the most frustrating part is because like the answers are right there in front of you. Like it doesn't take rocket science to. It's the same thing about Pakistan cricket that frustrates me the most is that when you come to a tournament, it doesn't take rocket science to figure out what the best 11 is. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out like what the solutions are. Like yes, bro, you're never gonna have. Okay, like we can talk about grassroots cricket and all that, and yes, like fine, those are some things that are long-term issues that need to be resolved, and they're not gonna be resolved overnight. But bro, there's things that can be fixed overnight, and agar hum wo bhi nahi kar rahe, to phir like, what's the point of even talking about those long-term core problems within our system? Because core problems to hamesha rahe hain, right? Pakistan's been good, Pakistan's been bad, but ultimately, the inconsistency comes from like the system.